Hello and welcome to AFCast. I'm your host Malcolm, and today I am here with both of the Bryces, and we are going to be talking about special events and holiday events that occur within video games. Let's get right into it. So we're going to start off by talking about holiday events. And the first thing that I'm going to mention is that Rainbow Six Siege, what they usually do is they take holidays. They take pretty much every holiday, even from like every country, even, to be honest with you, at least bigger holidays. And they kind of make a challenge out of it. And this is what a lot of games do. And I just say that Rainbow Six does this the most consistently, especially when it comes to other countries as well.
For holidays?
Yeah, for holidays.
Call of Duty does it a lot too. They did it in Black Ops 4. They did it for Chinese New Year's and Day of the Dead.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but like Rainbow Six always does like New Year's. They do Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, Christmas, even Hanukkah, I think. Like it's been like they always do something. And then they also have like operator birthdays and stuff like that they're doing all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah, so like for the operator birthdays, every time that an operator's birthday falls within a week, they'll have a challenge for that operator. Usually it's just like if it's the attacker side, they have to destroy a certain amount of gadgets on the defender side, or if it's on defender side, then you have to destroy a certain number of drones.
Stuff.
It's usually like 5 drones, 5 gadgets.
It's
really easy.
It's nothing like use their ability this many times or something like that, which I feel like would be better, but
yeah, but it's kind of just one of those things where it doesn't give you much. It gives you like a charm usually.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very, very small challenge that you get just by playing. I think that rewards you with something that isn't very useful.
Yeah, usually the holiday ones will always give you charm. Like the recent Thanksgiving one gives you like a little turkey charm. So you can have like a little turkey hanging off of your gun. But usually the operator birthdays and stuff kind of looks like gift wrap around your weapons.
I hate it when my turkey hangs off my gun.
I know.
It's all floppy and dangly.
But Rainbow Six is also a really good kind of example for holiday stuff. Because they like recently they did the Doctor's Curse thing for Halloween, where essentially you had Doc basically experimenting on a bunch of people, and he essentially created monsters, which then you had to have like hunters come in and kill and stuff like that, and it was a pretty cool event. And then they also have the haunted house last year for Halloween. Overall, Halloween is usually a big thing across gaming, at least in America. I don't know how it's done in other countries. But across America and the UK, usually Halloween is it's just a pretty big event that usually happens.
Because it's easy to make up events for Halloween.
Yeah, like make it
everything
a horror,
darker and have strange noises.
and make all the characters have costumes, and boom, Halloween event.
Yeah, because for Apex Legends, we also had Shadowfall, which was actually really over the top compared to most.
Yeah. It was really terrifying is what it was.
It was amazing, though. I mean, this was probably the single best Halloween event I've ever played was Shadowfall.
I wish that was like a permanent thing, to be honest.
Yeah, the entire Fight or Fright event, with the way that Shadowfall was executed, the way that all the collections and stuff was done, it was one of the best, if not the best event that I've played.
Once again, they also had a bunch of challenges and stuff that you can complete to either prove that you played with like badges and stuff, or you could get these really cool custom skins for weapons and characters, which was pretty awesome as well, especially because of how cool they looked.
Oh my god.
Like
they were amazing.
The one like Scarecrow alternator skin was really cool. Then the one Devotion one as well was
my favorite
amazing.
Was actually the longbow.
Yeah.
The longbow one was pretty sick.
And then for Call of Duty, they always have not all of the Call of Duties, but the Black Ops ones that have like zombies and stuff like that. They always do some kind of Halloween event for zombies, but that's just kind of how it goes. So like for Blackout and BO4 and Black Ops 4, they had a very heavily. Like they already have zombies in Blackout, but they really emphasized it, where they had the zombie themed Blackout, and then they also had like the DB&O when the DB&O event came out, which we'll talk about later. They also made a DB&O zombie version as well. That's on an even smaller map. So
And the main zombie themed Blackout they changed up the map, made like all the rivers red, had more emphasis on the zombies. They had challenges for killing so many zombies, and just tons of stuff like that revolved around the zombies that wasn't in the normal game.
I also find that like Christmas is usually worse when it comes to gaming. Like, I mean, obviously you get a bunch of sales and stuff like that, and like you usually only get decorations and challenges though. You never really get any like special events or
Part of the thing I think for the Christmas one is because also for Christmas, really Christmas holiday is more of a Christianity religious thing. So I think they
Yeah.
don't want to do special events, and then people will get mad at them because like, oh, where's our Hanukkah event or where's our Kwanzaa event?
So a lot of things do like just the holiday season.
Yeah.
But still in those situations, it's mostly just cosmetic stuff, and there's very few instances of games actually coming out in game modes themselves, and those game modes usually feel cobbled together, like May Snowball Fight in Overwatch. It was a game mode that they came out with for the winter season, but it was a lot of the fan base really disliked it because it was just a terrible game mode to try to play.
Another thing was I believe it was Call of Duty. They had the snowball fight thing too.
Yeah, they in Blackout they introduced snowballs where you could pick up
Yeah.
a pile of snowballs and have that as your throwables in your inventory, which is pretty cool. And then once again, Rainbow Six does some kind of challenge week thing for.
Or even had like Dota
Christmas.
years ago where you could collect coal and use that as an item in game.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Dota. It was I don't remember when it was, but it was a couple years ago. And the only reason I know about it was because of someone BMing in esports. They gathered a lot of coal and killed someone with it. That's all there is to say.
That's amazing.
Like a lot of coal. And
Never played Dota 2.
And they killed someone with it like 6 months after the event ended.
Yeah, but I feel like for most of the time for holiday events, I feel like the biggest one is always Halloween. Like if it's anything, look forward to Halloween throughout the year, because Halloween, like any Halloween game mode is at least going to be somewhat fun to play with friends.
And a lot of things now too, they have Halloween sales.
Yeah,
now, too.
that too. Which is absolutely amazing. Not to mention that usually during these like Halloween game events and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure Rainbow Six Siege had like a free to play weekend, so that way people could actually play the Halloween event during that time. And that kind of leads us into our special events as well. So like one of the most common special events that goes on within gaming is probably the weekend events. So like you have like in a lot of Call of Duty games and a lot of multiplayer games, you'll have like double XP weekends. This is mostly around Call of Duty. And then for like games, this usually goes for more tactical games like Rainbow Six Siege or CSGO, but they have like free to play weekends. I've also seen this for a couple Forza games, and then
Microsoft just does it a lot.
Yeah, Microsoft
like on
does it a lot.
Xbox, they do it a lot.
And the double XP thing, that sometimes like these events are announced, but not always. Like I know when Modern Warfare came out, there was that the weekend after it came out, for like 6 hours unannounced, they had a double XP on Saturday. 6 hours, never told anyone. And it just came out as double XP, so like no one knew about it, and there was some backlash, but a lot of people appreciated it. But it's so these events aren't always known before they happen, which is very interesting how what thought process goes into a marketing team not disclosing that before it happens, sort of thing.
So another special events thing that happens a lot, like during the esports season for that game, or sometimes every game even. We had I think it was either earlier this year or last year, where Rainbow Six Siege had, I think it was earlier this year, because they had all of the special backgrounds and stuff like that showed up in Rainbow Six for the esports season, and they had like the special pick band system, and they finally released that after that special event occurred, which was pretty cool because special events are used a lot to kind of ramp up a new update, new release of some kind of map or character or something like that. And they always hold some kind of special event to showcase them, essentially. But like you also have BO4 went through the same type of deal when they released their ranked play as well. I think it was called like World League or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, but.
But they've had that in a lot of the Black Ops games, like Black Ops 3 had Arena and stuff like that.
Black Ops 2 just had straight up ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure LOL and Rocket League also had something recently, either this year or last year with esports. But yeah, it doesn't happen as often as like Double XP Week. I mean, obviously because that's weekend versus seasonal, but but the esports thing doesn't always happen. But it is really cool when it does happen because usually there's companies that sponsor it and will have cool things going on during those esports things, whether or not it's introducing a new game mode or something like that, like it was in Rainbow Six Siege. All right, so on to our next game, which is like Apex Legends. No, this is Apex Legends.
Come on, Malcolm.
So recently we had a duos event in Apex Legends, which is pretty cool. And then before that, we even had a solos event, which isn't common for a Battle Royale game to do. Usually they just have a solos or duos mode already in session. But they really use this as a marketing technique of sorts, which is sometimes how these special events are used, is to kind of market themselves to get people to get the game and spend money on the game. And them doing the solos and duos for Apex Legends was definitely part of that. So
reaching out another fan base that wasn't there fully. And with Apex Legends, you as we said, you had the Flight or Fright event, which was the Shadowfall.
I thought it was Fight or Fright.
Yeah.
Fight or Fright, whatever. The Fight or Fright event, which was Shadowfall and that stuff. But you also had like the Legendary Hunt event, which was season 1 or preseason 1, I think, where it had the Legendary Queue, which was Elite Queue, sorry. And the Elite Queue was that if you got in the top 5 during your last game, you could go into this game mode. And it would count how many times, like how big of a combo you could get in this game mode, where you kept getting in the top 5 progressively. And then as soon as you got 6th place or worse, you would lose that count. But you could get stuff in the game that would show how high you've gotten, how far you've gotten, how good you did during this event.
A lot of it was badges and stuff.
Yeah. And another event they had was the Voidwalker event, which was basically just you could only use shotguns and snipers. And like you only had level 1 armor and stuff, and it provided a very new gameplay mechanic where for the most part Apex at the time was overrun by ARs and SMGs. So this provided you a chance to play with these shotguns and snipers where you wouldn't be able to do it as prominently normally.
And to kind of jump right back into Rainbow Six Siege, recently we had a really cool event. Well, I shouldn't say really cool, but it was a smart thing that they did, which was called La Casa de Papel. And essentially what it was a paper version of the map Bank. And it was a hostage situation. It was a hostage game mode, special hostage is what it was called. But essentially, Rainbow Six Siege went into coordination with Netflix, who owned the series, or not owned, owns the series Money Heist. And they essentially partnered together, and now there's special outfits for people like Vigil and Habana, where they have the special outfits that were in Money Heist, and the special game mode is based off of the TV show as well, which is pretty cool. And then you've also had stuff like Showdown, where you had the 3v3 with the Boss G and Revolver in these smaller maps or map. And then there was also like the Rainbow is Magic event, which was also known as the Furry event. And then you also... Yeah, I'm not joking. It was known as the Furry event. Because a lot of the characters were dressed up as furries. So.
Oh, that's funny. We love you, furries.
Yeah, and then
No, we don't.
Tachanka had a unicorn thing sticking out of his helmet as well.
Yeah.
And he was like dressed all rainbow and stuff like that. So it was pretty great. It was a hilarious game mode, especially when you could hear a muffled person inside of the teddy bear during the hostage event.
I remember that.
But yeah, so and then once again, I also mentioned the operator birthday challenges earlier, which is a pretty cool thing that I don't think I've ever seen in any other game. And then they also had a while ago in Operation Chimera, where they had a special outbreak event, which happened throughout the entire season.
Whereas most of these events were like 2-3 weeks, this was the entire 3-month span of the season. And Outbreak was kind of this PvE game mode where you and a squad would go through, and there was 4 different missions. And you would go through and you would randomly get one of these missions when you queue up. You would randomly get one of these 4 missions when you queued up, and it would basically be you just play through the mission as you'd expect, but that was a very off thing for Rainbow Six Siege to have like this mission set up outside of the situations that were already in the game.
Isn't R6 Quarantine also based off of it?
Yes, R6 Quarantine is the new game that's going to be coming out is heavily based off of
Ever since
Outbreak.
E3, they have not released anything about that game, but whatever.
Because it's Ubisoft.
But
They don't want you to be hard.
whoa.
Future Malcolm, leave that in.
But
You left him speechless.
He doesn't know what to say.
yeah, in Blackout once again for BO4, this is what I mentioned earlier was the DBNO game mode, which is for those of you who don't know what DBNO for those of you who don't know what DBNO is, it means down but not out. So essentially, if you got killed in this game mode, you'd actually respawn just kind of flying, and you'd
have a chance to respawn.
You'd glide back into the map, and this is only if your entire squad wasn't wiped. So as long as you had one person left in your squad, the entire rest of your squad could spawn back in. But this was after a pretty long time frame, and I think it also increased per circle as well.
Yeah, it's every. Like the first spawn is 3 minutes into the game. I don't know if these are numbers.
And you wouldn't have any of your stuff either.
Yeah, no. But yeah, like the first one would be like 3 minutes in the game. The next one would be 7 minutes. The next one would be 12, where it just keeps increasing in time between respawns.
But this was a really cool game mode that I haven't seen in any other battle royale. That's the word. Battle royale game mode. It was a really smart thing to do. Actually, it was really fun as well. I thought it was gonna be terrible at first, but it actually turns out that people get squad wipes a lot quicker than I thought. So yeah,
and it's also very similar to the Apex Legends system.
Yeah, it is,
where you can pick up your teammate's banner and revive them.
Yeah, this was even before the respawn thing happened with the revive ships and the revive like buses or whatever they
revive
were.
Vans.
Revive vans and
fork knife.
But yeah.
And then for like racing games and stuff, like Forza Horizon 4, they have what they call Forzathon, which are basically weekly challenges and events. Like you'll get like special races. And then for some of the seasonal events, you'll get like a special barn find where you got to go find a special car. And basically all that, it gives you up points so you can buy stuff in a Forzathon store, and it changes throughout every week. And that's pretty much it.
And also, like I mentioned earlier, like Forza has done some other like holiday themed stuff as well. like decorational events is like they usually go for decoration. They don't usually
Like-
go for any game modes or anything.
Like in Forza Motorsport 7, they had like for Christmas and stuff, like Christmas event, you got a driver's suit that made you look like a snowman, and then they had one for Chinese New Year and all that.
What was also really cool was, and this kind of leads us into our cross game. Stuff or cross game events. Was them adding the I can't remember.
They added the Grunt birthday party horn. They added the Warthog and the
yeah.
Halo theme song, as well as the Sea of Thieves theme song and like some other stuff like the Windows XP shutdown, which
It's
I
kind
think
of
is
funny.
pretty cool.
And didn't they even add something from Halo into Sea of Thieves as well?
Yeah, they added a Halo ship or Halo ship set. So basically, like, you'd get sails that said UNSC, and you'd get a Spartan figurehead, which they now did with Gears of War, and
Oh yeah, that's
it's
right.
incredible. Like the
Yeah,
ship
they-
head's is a Lancer, and like you have the Gears symbol on the sails, and it looks sick.
You also have in Gears of War 5 we had Halo Reach come to it as well. We had
Emil
Emil and Kate
Kat
or Kat, yeah, not Kate, sorry.
were playable characters for multiplayer.
I'm thinking of the actual character from Gears. But you also have games that have the 24/7 game modes.
Mainly
And-
Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's mainly Call of Duty with their new maps, but it's Call of Duty and it's Rainbow Six Siege as well.
I just say a lot of first-person shooters have the 24/7 game mode.
It's usually when a new map comes out.
Yeah,
because
ever
they,
since Parabellum on Siege, they've started
Yeah.
doing it, and
And then after
Call of Duty does it a lot.
in World War II, they had Shipment 1940 or whatever it's called. They had 24 hours on that map, which led up to like the new maps in Black Ops 4, and then the newest map in Modern Warfare now that's 24/7.
Shoot House or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like kind of like adding on to that as well, like not just new maps but new game modes as well. Usually new game modes will have like special prizes in the game for a short period of time for those game modes, just until the game mode becomes more of a normal thing than like a new thing. And they kind of just stick with the special like gifts and stuff like that for about a week after the event comes out. So yeah. And then kind of like to get back into the cross game thing like we were talking about, a lot of like Ghost Recon Wildlands Ubisoft does a lot of crossover stuff.
It's because they have so many games that take place around the same time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Watch Dogs had something. I don't remember what it was. But Ghost Recon Wildlands has had a lot. They had a lot of updates where they had Splinter Cell in one of them. They had Rainbow Six Siege in another where you like meet Caveira, Twitch, Valkyrie, and they actually fight with you. Actually, not Valkyrie or Twitch. I think it was just Caveira.
No, Twitch fights with you.
Oh yeah, she does. Well, kind of. She kind of just stands there, but
No, she fights.
she's in the firefight.
Ish. She's there. Whether she's useful or not is another conversation, but
But then another cool thing that they did was they actually came out with an update for Ghost Recon Wildlands. I don't think I've ever seen this before, but that seems to be the trend over the past couple of years with events, honestly, is that they actually had a prequel come out for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, come out in Ghost Recon Wildlands on the same day that a huge announcement trailer and world premiere was advertised and shown for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is a really cool concept and idea. And it was executed really well, marketing wise and stuff. So, all right. But overall, there's just always look forward to special events. Try to look out for them. Special events or holiday events, though they're both considered special events. So, but because they always have really cool prizes. So if you have a game that you really like, you'll get some really interesting aesthetics and whatnot in the game. And you'll essentially just be able to get a lot of cool prizes and build up a collection of stuff to say like, hey, I was part of this event. And I got to play this event, which is a pretty cool thing a lot of the time, especially if you create a whole collection like a lot of people have for Rainbow Six Siege or like Ghost Recon Wildlands. At least those are the two main games that I have stuff for. But besides that, make sure you check out our Instagram and Twitter for any updates for this podcast or other stuff we host. Make sure you check out our Discord if you want to talk about special events, holiday events, anything that's coming up or that we have done before. Also, make sure that you check out our website because we host a variety of different gaming things from podcasts, YouTube channels to streams. And then also make sure you check out DJ Augie, which is one of the Bryces here.
Bryce A.
He made the music for the beginning and end of this podcast, so definitely make sure you check that out. But besides all of that, game on.